Canes with no background are really fun to use, but I think it intimidates people because they don't think they can reduce a cane without a background. But in a sense, I think it's better because then you're not relying on just the shape. And this way you're continually focusing on the shape that you really want. So when you form a cane, or when you reduce a cane, it's just like forming it. I heard another artist talk about how you are the boss of the clay. So if you think about it, if you had a big ball of clay, you could form it into a leaf shape. But for some reason, when it's a cane, we're intimidated by reducing it. So here you see, I started with a very large leaf. I want to reduce it to fit this little morning glory. The other thing that I love is these will last a long time. This one leaf cane at this size, it's going to last me a very long time. So sometimes when people have a round cane, they're used to relying on maybe rolling it. You shouldn't roll a cane to reduce it. Canes can be twisted, squished, pulled, bent. I don't really ever rely on rolling a cane. So therefore you can reduce any shape of a cane. You continue to form the cane. I can make this a short and fat leaf or a long and skinny leaf. That's the other thing that I love about not having a background to it, is that as soon as I go to slice it, I can make them all different shapes. So when you have a cane without a background, this twisting process defines the shape very well. And of course, as always, it's starting to distort. I wouldn't, the more careful you are, the more clay you save. I'll just have a lot of a green color to mix up at the end. But I'm still going to have so much of this leaf cane, I'm not going to waste all my time trying to save those ends. And there are lots of ways to do this. It's kind of arbitrary when I bend it, when I pull it, when I twist it. The other thing is this is so forgiving. I mean, this is going to look like a leaf no matter what. Especially now that I've safely got this great amount in the center. I can just stretch that out. Teeny tiny, and it will retain its leaf shape. It's running off the camera here. And I can feel throughout the length of that cane what the shape is. I can always reform it. I can make this whatever shape I want. Okay, for the sake of time, I'm going to do this a little less carefully than I might. I can flip that thing around, I can do whatever. So yeah, here's the twisting. Okay, let me speed this up a little bit. So this is what I was saying earlier. They can be elongated to look like maybe we've got a side view of the leaf. Or they can go down short and stubby. I think my favorite part about this is they look like they're painted right onto the clay. It's so much fun. I mean, I can arrange the bouquets as long as I want. I mean, in any arrangement that I would like. And I mean, I just have tons of these leaves left. Okay, my favorite thing, one more thing I can do, is I can even fold the leaf. And it'll just look like a painted, folded little leaf. So there you see I've tucked up the corner. And you work with it, make sure it's nice and warm, and it will lay flat on the clay eventually. I didn't realize this for a while. And I will have finished pictures of this on my blog. I know it's hard to see here. So for the morning glories, this one's still too big. I reduced them separately. First I made the morning glory flower, reduced that, and then added this teeny tiny stripe of the triangle of white. I could reduce it even farther before I added the triangle, but if I want to reduce it at this point, I don't want to reduce all of it because I do want some of the larger morning glory for an Easter egg. Let me just show you how I reduce this guy. Even when it gets really small, I can make minor adjustments to the shape. Here's my bending, and it fell off, but it doesn't matter, I'll just put it right back on. I need to take a little more care with that guy. Okay, I think somewhere in the middle here, it's about the size I want. I think, let's see, there's different ways to slice this. If it's not working one direction, I can always move it a little bit and try something else. So I put that right in there next to the leaves. So this one is a side view. This one shows the flower straight on. I can do quite a bit still at this point to defining how I want that flower to look. By pinching it and pulling it, I can define that shape. So whereas it looks like the roses, when I reduced it, maybe it looks like I've lost some of the definition in the petals, I can just pull those out again. Even a pretty teeny tiny, you still have a lot of control over it. So I want one more. Yeah, here we go. I'm stretching that one out sideways. I'm going to pinch the bottom again better. Where do I want this one to go? I don't, maybe I should have planned that better. Anyway, I can overlap. If I roll them down nicely enough to begin with, I can overlap. Take some care. It takes thin slices. Again, you have so many that you can afford to throw away some slices that don't work out. It'll be okay. I'm going to tuck a little leaf, maybe. Coming out in between, hiding that one maybe? No, that'll be too big. Okay, this one needs the encasing of the bud. This little bud I made already has green on the bottom, but this one doesn't. I decided it would be just as easy to add itty bits of green after the fact. I mean, these have to be tiny, tiny, tiny. You probably will have to see pictures of this. Maybe I'll add them to the end of the video. You'll be able to see how that's the part of the leaves, or the greenery that holds that little flower in place. And then I have two more views of the flower. Same thing though, I'm just going, when I reduce that, I'll pinch this and continually form this part because I want it to be rounded. Pull that thing all apart. And that's like the view from the underside of the flower. And finally, I have this little guy, tiny, tiny, tiny. It has the little green on it already. Same thing. So you can see what very diverse shapes can be reduced, no problem. Let me put these on there and see how they look. I'm also going to just cut that leaf. It looks like it's coming out from the background because it's been cut. See how, it's so much fun. I absolutely love making a flower bouquet. And sometimes I only use the tiniest amount of clay and just squeeze the heck out of it, and I still have really nice little buds. I mean, I wouldn't have to have much clay at all, and I would still get quite a few buds. So if you, only have the teensiest scrap left of when you're making your morning glory canes, you can still have enough left over for a few different shape petals. I would have covered these more so that they are incorporating those leaves that I had. This is just done quickly. And there's my morning glory bouquet. This is the one I did with the roses. So here is, I have a rosebud. So same Same thing, I can continue to form that rosebud as I reduce it. With the rosebud I didn't like the bottom, so I ended up just pinching it off. You'll see that, let's see, over here in the corner. So this is so much fun. Alright, I hope you have a lot of fun designing your own flowers, your own colors. I mean, imagine if you did just a few more roses, you'd have quite a beautiful bouquet, and you'd have time to arrange them multiple ways on multiple surfaces. If I did this on just a flat surface, I'd probably use a brayer. It might take a little bit more time to work it in. If I can't roll that, I can still work a pattern into it. It really helps to have nice warm hands. And then at this point I would probably roll a brayer over it. And you know, too, they don't have to be worked into the clay. If they were just set on top of the clay, they would also be really stunning. Okay, have fun.